I want to prove that caring is a competitive advantage in life and business, and certainly in our industry. We went from 30 million to we ended the year at 46 million. The next year we were $98 million. We grew organically that much. This might be the most meaningful thing any of us ever do in our careers, and this will solidify we care. And this is what caring is. We got through some really hard times, brought emotion. So I took my moment on the bathroom floor when I found out that we were, a few months away from bankruptcy, high potential bankruptcy, put into forbearance, bank account locked, all money's taken out of the account, can't make payroll. This is 10 weeks after I accept the CEO role of a company that's big, and I don't even know what a CEO does. And then all of a sudden I learn about balance sheets and P&Ls and cash flow and working capital and bank covenants and banking agreements and how all of this stuff works and capitalization. Like, I knew none of this, and I got a crash course on it because we were put into forbearance, and we were basically told that the term that was going to be called in about 4 months. And so I went to the team and asked them for help. I went like full on vulnerable and went and said, hey, to the whole team, we're in trouble, and I want you all to know the truth so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. Like, I understand if you want to leave because things are tough and they're going to get a lot worse before they get better. However, I've decided to stay, and I hope you all stay. And if you stay, I have no idea how we'll get through it. I just 100% know we will. And I promise you, on the other side of this, we'll build a better culture than we ever had. And almost everyone stayed. And I brought our vendors in, and I talked to them one at a time, and I said to our vendors, like, we're in trouble, and this is what happened. The bank did this to our line because we broke some covenants, and I'm letting you know so you have a choice. We need your help. And if you help us, we'll get through this. And we're SurePoint. We always pay our bills late, but we always pay them. And if you don't, I understand, but we probably won't make it. And then I went to our clients, to some of our clients, and said, hey, we're in a bit of a bind. Can you quick pay some stuff? Oh, and by the way, we need you to give us more work. So, and they helped, and we rebuilt SurePoint. I said, I want to prove that caring is a competitive advantage in life and business, and certainly in our industry, which is predominantly oil and gas. And so I started talking about emotions, and I started to talk about caring and what caring really means. And it was a really tough thing to get our team, again, type A, predominantly male leadership, to start to open up a little bit about how they were feeling about stuff. And when we hit the pandemic in 2018, I had an opportunity to buy the company back, and I bought it back. And we had gone from 4 million to 92 million to 40 million to 50 million to on our way to 60 million, 55-ish. And we buy the company back, and it's like the future's bright. I went to 15 people on the team in 2018 and said, hey, the company's going to be put up for sale. And I will go into this one more time with you all. All the other founders were gone. Said, I'll do it with you all. And everybody said, awesome, we want to do it. I said, but there's one caveat. You have to be open to us turning this into an employee-owned organization. And they all said yes. And the reason for that is because in 2008, when we sold the company, I didn't feel good about it. I was grateful, changed my life financially, farm kid that all of a sudden, has some cash in the bank. And it set my wife and I up to be comfortable. However, I said to my wife, I didn't celebrate it. As a matter of fact, the day we sold the company happened to be the same day that I had to either be here to sign the papers with the team, or I had to be in Mexico with one of my best friends to stand up with him at his wedding, and I chose to be there. So I signed a power of attorney over to our CEO at the time so he could sign all the paperwork for me. So I'm down in Mexico at this thing. I wake up the next day and I go to take $20 out of the bank account, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing went through. Like, I have all this money, and I'm at an all-inclusive, and my buddies make me spend like, I don't know, $2,000 on cigars at the time. But that was the celebration. I came back home, and my wife said to me about a week later, she said, you don't seem excited. And I said, I feel like we missed something. 10 of our lives changed the day after that sale. 240 other people, they woke up the next day and nothing changed. The only thing they could hope for was that the new owners treated them at least as good as we did. And we still had partial ownership, so we stayed. But things changed. I don't think anybody really understood the impact of giving farm kids that kind of money. We go and buy cows and land, and we go back farming. And so here we are. I said to her, if I ever had a chance to do it again, I would do it different. And all of a sudden we get an opportunity and buy the company back with 15 of the employees and some help from a private equity group and a private investor in Alberta. Bring the company back home. Everybody's excited. December 2018, we closed the deal. And then the pandemic hit, and we had an opportunity to really truly show that we care and to go all in on values. And we made a decision that almost bankrupted us, but ended up being the greatest thing we could have done. We made a decision to keep all of our team, and to do that, everybody had to sacrifice. And so I gave up. And there was a whole series of events that led to this, but for 7.5 months, I gave up 50% of my pay. Or I did for 9 months, and the entire team for 7.5 months gave up between 10% and 35% of their pay so that we could keep everybody and guarantee everybody a minimum paycheck. And that conversation, once I got the team together with 25 people and said, we can do it this way and maybe get through it, or we can do it this way and maybe get through it. And one ties back to our core values, we care, and there's no gun to anyone's head. Everybody has to be in though. And if you're not in, I get it, and we'll find a different way, but this might be the most meaningful thing any of us ever do in our careers. And this will solidify we care. And this is what caring is. And took half an hour for everybody to agree. And when you think about the context, these people were in their 30s. Many of them had remortgaged their houses to buy into SurePoint, and they're taking 10 to 35% pay cuts. The leadership group that had invested were the higher income earners, but they were giving up 20 to 35% of their pay, and their bills didn't go down. We barely got through that. Our revenue dropped to 30 million down coming out of the pandemic, just under. And we managed to scrape up a bit of money from the board, helped us raise a little bit of money to buy a competitor, a small competitor, and merge it in. And then it got out what we had done through the pandemic and how we had kept everybody and how we sacrificed together. And our business exploded. After merger, after the acquisition and the merger, we went from 30 million to we ended the year at 46 million. The next year, we were $98 million. We grew organically that much. We hired 175 people at a time it was hard to find people. And we hired 125 of them in 9 months. We were onboarding people that had to onboard people. Totally ran out of money again, because we were profitable, but we had no working capital. Now we're back in a situation we were like in 2013. And I'm saying, no, this time vendors, it's different. Like, we're actually making money. It's just tied up and chaos. And then the year after that, we did 125 million. And I resigned at the end of that year and took 1 year in a different position as president. And then I did a year part-time to help with some international opportunities we had. And then I resigned from SurePoint at the end of last year.